Howdy. I've been promising for a while now to do a bedtime. Sorry, it's annoying hair and stuck to my camera. I've been promising for a while now to do bedtime143's epic tag number 2, and I've just checked, and he created it back in mid-April. So it's about a month and a half late, so I apologise for that, mate. But it's here now, and yeah, I enjoy doing these, and I'm going to say now, I'm not going to tag anyone, but I urge everyone to do it, because, you know, it's more fun, isn't it? It's more fun than dry facts, dry lists. It's like more fun than you know when you're at primary school and you have to write about what you've done over the weekend, and it ends up being like, oh, I went here and it was good. You know, more than that. So yeah, here we go. I've got notes. I have notes, as is the, you know, usually I have notes for tags, because they don't stick in the old noggin. 3 questions this time. The same sort of the same process of reading out the question and then addressing it. First question: the zombie apocalypse has arrived. You're allowed any weapon from any game or movie. What do you pick to survive? Now, it's funny, I was watching Rob's video, and he said, if it's a zombie apocalypse, I'm probably going to die anyway, so, you know, do I want to pick something that's going to be effective and give me the best chance of survival, or do I want to just accept my fate and go out in style, pick something stylish? Which is, you know, it's a good way to go, actually. It made me think as well. And what I'm going to go for, I think I've actually mentioned this way back in an old tag. What I'm going to go for is the souped up, that's key, the souped up gravity gun from Half-Life 2. Because it's one of my it's one of my favourite weapons I've ever used in any video game. It's brilliant fun. Because you can use it 3 different ways. Obviously the standard gravity gun, you can pick stuff up and fire stuff at people, and there's not many more satisfying sights than picking up a sawmill blade and just twanging it at some zombies or some combine. Yeah, that's brilliant fun. But the souped up version, you can pick up bigger things. You can pick up people, and you can just basically sort of pluck them out of the end. You can sort of, you know, from a massive distance, you can like draw them in and just hold them there, and they can look at you. And that'd be quite good fun, being able to sort of look at a zombie. So before he was after me, but I've turned the tables, I'm going to look at him, I'll say, change your ways, I'm going to twang you off into the beyond. But he's a zombie, so he wouldn't, so I'm going to twang you off. So you just shoot him off into the sky, and you watch him corkscrew like that. Watch him corkscrew, and then land with a sort of a nasty, sickening thud. Or you can just sort of like shoot him off into the distance. You don't have to shoot him straight up in the air. Or, that's always good, it's always brilliant fun. So that sort of takes care of the sort of stylish element. It's sort of functional stylish, but also when it comes down to the, you know, when the shit's really hitting the fan, you can use it almost like a shotgun. You can sort of fire it at close range at people, and it just sort of takes them out. And it's really effective because it doesn't run out of ammo. And although the range isn't brilliant, so you know, you have to get really close. But you know, you can, if you need to take someone out of range, you can use a sawmill blade, or you can sort of twang a sort of gas canister at someone. You know, it's what's the word? It's you can use it in multiple ways. I've forgotten the word. You know, versatile. So yeah, that's it. My zombie weapon of choice, my zombie killing weapon of choice is the souped up gravity gun from Half-Life 2. Question 2. Final Fantasy 15 has come out. This is hypothetical. Final Fantasy 15 has not come out, people, so don't go getting carried away. Final Fantasy 15 has come out, and you can pick any character from any game, movie or singer. I'm taking that to mean any character, any member of a band who will join you as part of your little crew, your little motley crew. But it's pretty much who would be your fantasy RPG gang, crew, you know. I like this, good one. It's given me, especially because you've got scope, any game, movie or singer. So I've interpreted singer to mean musician, anybody in a band, in other words. And my first, I've not been able to choose between these two, so I've put them both in. I wouldn't take both, but it's going to be one or the other. Keith Moon from The Who or Keith Richards, because they're both lunatics to start off with. Keith Moon because he's an expert in explosives, so that will always be handy in an RPG. But he's a lunatic as well, so he'd be good in a scrap, like a fist fight. But he has two strings to his bow, and he's a drummer. He's a drummer, so he can hit people with his drumsticks, or you know, or he can throw his exploding drum kit at people. Or Keith Richards. Keith Richards. Have you ever seen that footage of him hoiking his guitar in some fan's face? Or was that was Keith Richards, wasn't it? I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not getting confused. It was a thing to behold. Just twatting a fan. And it would be like sort of. It was like what's that? Oh shit! I've forgotten it. That game, the metal game, about all the metalers. Forgotten it. It was that in real life. But any Keith or two Keiths, any Keith, any musician who's called Keith, in other words. Although I did think of not Keith Sweat, because I don't really know his music, but anybody called Keith Sweat will be cracking on to the ladies all the time. They can't have that. Or Keith Urban. I think he's country and western. Apologies to any country and western fans out there, but I don't think they'd be too handy in when shit started getting dirty, you know. So any musician called Keith, bar Keith Sweat or Keith Urban. Number 2 in my little gang would be Chunk from the Goonies. For a comic aside, I think he's a comedy. It's a character. It's a comedy genius. The character, he's comedy genius. Every time I watch the Goonies, it cracks me up. It wouldn't be much good in the fight, but it'd keep our spirits up. So you probably have to sort of stand at the back and just sort of throw quips at the zombies. No, this isn't zombies, is it? This is the RPG. You just have to throw quips at the assailants, at the variety of monsters that you get in RPGs. I'm sure he could diversify his skills somehow. I suppose you could combine it with Data. If you had Data and Chunk, I suppose they sort of add up to one character, because they could sort of stand on each other's shoulders, and Chunk could do all the quips, and Data could have all these gadgets. Slick shoes, or pinches of power. No, it's slick shoes. And finally, Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. Not the 70s version, not Dirk Benedict, not Faceman from 18. I'm talking about the reimagined Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. Katie, what's her name? I forgot her name. The actress, Katie something. She was in an episode of she was in an episode of. I've totally forgotten its name. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favourite sitcoms at the moment. About the four geeks. What the fuck is it called? Well, she was in an episode of it. In Wollowitz's wanking fantasy. So I'd have her because she's rock hard. She's good in a fight. She can fly a Viper. I forgot. Someone remind me what it's called. I watch every episode. I've forgotten what it's called. So I'd have Starbuck from the reimagined Battlestar Galactica because she's hot. She's a bit mental. I like, you know, a bit mental is always going to be good for, you know, for scrapping purposes. She'll put up a fight. She'll go down fighting, and she can obviously use her Viper as well. Always handy. And without meaning to give away the plot, without meaning to give, maybe I should use the post. Actually, that would be a spoiler, because actually no, I can't explain it without giving away a major plot point. So I'm not going to do that. But I'd have Starbuck anyway, because she's hot. But then looking at my Keith Moon or Keith Richards, Chunk from the Goonies and Starbuck, they sound pretty good individually, but collectively they'd be shit. So I need someone who's just really hard at fighting. And I picked George Prime from any of the Suikoden games because he's one of the hardest characters in the game. He's got an eye patch, you know. Well, number 5 he is. Number 2 I don't know. But he's rock hard. So if I'd have him as like a substitute in case I wanted to swap any in, because if we were getting our arses kicked, I'd keep George Prime on the subs bench. And finally, Marty McFly from Back to the Future I'll start again. Marty McFly from Back to the Future turns up in his time-travelling DeLorean, which has been upgraded. You can now go on a journey to a location in any game world. However, there's a caveat to this. It's a one-way trip. He's only got enough plutonium for one trip. So you can go to any game world, but it's a one-way trip. You can't come back. Although, thinking about it, if he's in the car with you, you'd spend the rest of eternity with Marty McFly from Back to the Future. This, you know, whichever way you look at it, it could be a good or a bad thing, don't it? I quite like Back to the Future myself, but you might get a bit annoying. With his "Don't Call Me a Chicken" act. So, would you go? Yes, I would. Fuck it. Why not? I've, you know, had a good innings. You know, I'll just, you know, I fancy a bit of a change. Where would I go? Where would I go now? I've had a bit of a problem with this actually, because this is something I've often thought about. When you're playing a game, you think, oh, that's a nice place to live. I could go and live there. I quite like to live there if it came down to it. And I always have that, so I've had a lot to choose from. But the thing I've actually come up with, it's not the world so much, it's a location in one of my favourite games. It's Rokkaku Hamlet in Suikoden 2. It's a secret ninja village. It's a village full of ninjas, which is always a good thing, because, you know, no one's going to ever come and nick your stuff, are they, if you live in a village full of ninjas. But if you see the game, it's one of the most sedate, calming atmospheres going, and it's secret as well. You live in a forest. Oh, it's quite small, that's the one downside, because it's a hamlet, so hamlets are tiny, aren't they? So I'd keep the right to just go off on holiday somewhere to maybe one of the beach locales in something like Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 8, because there's always a beach location in one of those, isn't there? So I might stick up a bit of footage after this just to show you Rokkaku Hamlet, because it's a lovely place and it's full of ninjas. So that's it. Only 3 questions. I'll put them in the description box below. Yeah, try and do this tag, because it's a nice tag. Like I said, I'm not going to tag anyone, but I think I urge people to try and do it. You know, just mix it up a bit, because you know, the tags I don't get so much love nowadays. It's quite sad. I don't know, people they just don't get done. I like these. These are sorts of things that I think we should all indulge in. So give it a go. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try and put up some footage, record some footage of Suikoden 2 Rokkaku Hamlet. If not, I apologise, and I've got pickups. After my last video, I do actually have pickups to show, and a package. But it's been recorded. It was recorded before my last video, so that's my get out. I'm a total hypocrite. So thanks for watching, and see you a lot later. Oh, hello. Yeah, this is Rokkaku Hamlet I'm going to show you now. This is where I would like to go with Marty McFly. First I've got to kick some asses. Didn't take too long. Me and Marty McFly are going to end up here. This is where we're going. This is the secret passage. And here we go. Can you hear the music? It's lovely. One of the things about Suikoden 2 is that it's got some really nice music, but also it's got some really irritating music as well. But this is the Rokkaku Hamlet, the home of the ninja clan. You can't talk to these people. I like the sound that the doors make. I'm hoping you'll be able to pick this up, but you know. Really woody sound. There's not a lot to it. Crate of onions, crate of figs, and a crate of persimmons. What the hell are persimmons? If anyone's ever had a persimmon, let me know what they're like. Yes, I heartily agree. No, it was shit. It was actually shit. So the dog growls at you. This is the head ninja. Can't do much here, but I think this would be a really nice sort of a zen-like place to live. Oi, mate! 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 What's his problem? Mate! Oi! Rude. Full of rude people. And a trading post. Yes. Yes, I have. So this is where I would like to go with Marty McFly to live forever. I wonder what Freud would say about that. Can't talk to this bastard either. Secret home of the ninja! And then you get people like hanging from the rafters. Ninjas in the rafters. Right, I think you've seen enough. There's not, like I said, there's not a lot to it. You can't go in this building either. But it does have a crate of figs and a crate of onions outside the house. It's just peaceful. That's one of the reasons why I liked it. It's just a retreat, but not like an old person's sort of Eastbourne retreat. It's zen. You can sit on your house, on the roof of your house if you like, and no one bats an eyelid. And of course, I'd never run out of figs or persimmons. Okay, like I said, I think you've seen enough. Thanks for watching, and I do think I've got a pickups video. Yes, a pickups video tomorrow. So, thanks for watching, and see you later.